Welcome to 94.9 32 FM, and this is Scoreboard Reloaded. I am Peter Omo. On the show this afternoon, AFCON, yes, got us talking in the last few hours, and we'll talk more about AFCON. And right now, as we speak, there's the second game going on. The first game was the host against Comoros. It ended 2-0. We'll talk about that, the opening ceremony, and of course, the game going on live, and 2 more games still to come. The Super Eagles were counting down to that game on Tuesday evening. And don't forget that 32 FM will bring you the live commentary of that game starting from 5 p.m. on again, leading to the time for the game, which is 6:30. DOLAPO is here with me and SAMIES. We'll also move away from some African football news and talk about European club football, how it all went down, how it's all shaping up ahead of the year 2026. SAMIES, it's a pleasure having you. Let's start with what Dr. Motsepe said on Saturday, and you guys were here on the pitch. And from everything he said, of course, you know that the biggest, you will not fall. You know that the biggest of everything he said has got to do with the new change and the new arrangement that we'll get for the African Cup of Nations going forward. After we are done with Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda, then we'll have to switch and get a new name in terms of the African Nations League. You'll talk to me about that, and of course, some other things that he said. I'll take the lapo on those ones, but let me start with you, SAMIES. I've had people say even the one coming up in Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya, I've got some comma. When you say comma, there's some bit of doubt. I gather that 2 of those East African countries will be having their political election that period. And so if care is not taken, we might have to switch to 2028. So, SAMIES, it's a pleasure having you. Time check is 34 minutes in the game in Casablanca between Mali and Zambia, and it is goalless. SAMIES, how do you do?
Good afternoon, Peter. Good afternoon to everyone who has joined us on today's edition of the show, and also good afternoon to DOLAPO. Well, starting from everything that happened over the course of the weekend from the African scene as regards African football, I think from what the CAF president, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, said over the course of the weekend, because I know we had an issue playing the press conference while on the show, the pitch. But after that, we got so many news as regards the African Cup of Nations every 4 years, in which that is one thing I know maybe DOLAPO will want to talk about it. It doesn't make sense. Why would we have it as a 4-year? So you look at the coming years also. Why also change the name of the African Cup of Nations? Do the Europeans, have they changed the European Championship, or is it that we are bowing to pressure from the Europeans at this point in time? And I know they can lead, we can follow, but also there are some things that
I lead and then follow.
No, that's what I'm saying. And there are instances where you also need to make that bold call. You lead and let them follow, or better still, you hold on to what you believe is right. Don't bow to any pressure, so that it won't actually see you as not strong enough, being weak. So you look at everything now that Dr. Patrice Motsepe said. There are good developments from some, the increments in the prize money for the winners, and also involving teams and all of that. But the main issue here is the change of name, and also making the African Cup of Nations a quadrennial tournament. No, we don't want that on the African scene. The Europeans, they have their European Championship every 2 years as well, and that is one thing that we all look forward to.
Every 4 years.
Every 4 years. So we want to see the Asians. I think they do theirs every 2 years.
Yeah, every 2 years.
The South Americans every 2 years.
Every 4 years.
No, South Americans every 2 years.
Okay, the Copa
America, yes, every 2 years. So why are we having our own also jump to the European calendar every 4 years? So if we are doing it also every 4 years, are we going to change the period in which we actually host our own tournament? I know this is the first time we are having the African Cup of Nations in December going into January, during the festive season. Why? I think this is also one of the reasons, because of Morocco's weather. Morocco tends to be so cold in January. So cold, it's even cold. At this moment it is cold. At this point when as we're speaking, but everything is just about being weak. It portrays us as being weak on the African scene.
DOLAPO, is it bound to pressure now from the so-called powerhouse of world football, the Gianni Infantinos of this world, who have always said Africa should just think towards having these 4. I remember when Issa Hayatou was the president of CAF many years ago, he stood by anyone by saying we're going to have these 2 years, nobody will change it, and it would be our usual thing of doing it from January to February. There's nothing that will change that. But finally it looks like we've bowed to those who have decided this cause somewhere, and then it was in the open a couple of days ago in Casablanca when Motsepe was speaking to the media ahead of the opening ceremony of this year's Nations Cup. So the other thing I also gathered is the issue concerning CHAN. That also is not certain.
Good afternoon, Peter. Good afternoon, SAMIES, and to everyone who has joined us on the show this afternoon. Well, for me, I feel like this is just coming from Gianni Infantino. Over the last few years, he has been looking. It has looked like
it's the hand of Gianni.
Yeah, it looks like it is exactly that is how it is. It is just Gianni Infantino stock, because I remember, I think it was in 2020 when he came to Africa, he said something like, AFCON being played every 2 years is not really a good thing. It should be 4 years. And now Motsepe has now done that. He has also came outside here on Saturday to say it's publicly that the AFCON will be 4 years. And for me, I don't think we have to follow suit with what they do in Europe. We don't have to do that. We have to just stay with what we do, what we've been doing over the last 48, 50 years. This is the 35th edition of this competition, and it has always been these 2 years.
Over 70 years.
And it's been going like this for years, and we've been enjoying it. One thing I know very well is the last AFCON there were improvements, and it looked like there've been improvement over the last few years, and we've been saying, okay, we are pushing it, we are getting to where we want to be. This is not the time now where you would say you want to see this competition going up for 4 years. If it will be going on every 4 years, that's to be. There have been some major changes, but it's not looking like there have been that changes in African football. We still have some competitions going on, and you look at it and you say this thing still needs to improve. It's not that we've gotten to that level where we want to be. So playing this competition for every 4 years, it's just like bowing to European powers, trying to put it like this team's complain that our players are coming on, this particular team is complaining about their players being leaving, and that is why I feel like Motsepe has done this thing that he has done. And for me, I don't think this is good for African football. And now about CHAN, it's looking like we won't have CHAN again. According to what he's saying, he does not want the CHAN competition to hold again. And this is another competition that has been going on, that's been doing well for African football over the last few years. We've seen countries like South Africa getting players from their CHAN team.
Maybe I'll tell you that the man who scored that beat of the goal yesterday.
Played at CHAN, 𝐃𝐈𝐒.
One CHAN, 2 CHAN.
Yeah, so
in 2018 and 2020.
We've seen
2018 and 2020. Yeah.
So I think this thing is also coming from one thing. FIFA just want us to be like copying the European scene. They don't do the same thing in Europe. They want us to copy.
One more thing that would add to us is it's actually regressing. It would regress African football.
How?
So exposure. We are still complaining, or the rest of the European world maybe are saying, oh, they don't get to, they don't regard the African Cup of Nations as a major tournament. So why now wait 3 years before hosting another tournament? The popularity of the competition at that point is going to reduce. It's going to play dead. So we don't also want that. You wait for that at the 4 years, every 4 years. No, we don't want that. It's not a World Cup. So how do we also change all of it? We have the we have the World Cup. The following year we would have the African Cup of Nations. The following year we would have the European Championship. Come on, we don't want that.
All right, what we want is to see the goals we saw yesterday. They have to go check these. We're watching here in the studio all the way, and we just find out that should have been a penalty, SAMIES. And now it's good that the Sudanese referee is going to check for VAR. But on the first look, that was the penalty. But here he has to go check again to be double sure to see if that penalty will be given to to Mali against Zambia, and the Sudanese referee has gone to check. I think he also won the referee of the year at this year's CAF. Yes, he did. He won the referee of the year at this year's CAF award. So DOLAPO, quickly here, it was all good, all smile last night for the Moroccans.
Oh, well, very good game for Morocco. They played a good game against Comoros, and I was probably not expecting Comoros to bring the way they performed. They performed so well, especially agree with what you would have thought at the start of the game. I was talking to someone and we were talking about Morocco putting 4-5 past Comoros, but they lived up to the hype. They defended really well, and their goalkeeper was also so good. He saved the penalty in that game and made a couple of good saves as well. So good one for Morocco. They are scoring the first the first goal at the AFCON.
The one who scored the most goals at the qualifiers.
Yes, so he has been very good since he's joined the Moroccan national team. And also, what a beautiful goal by 𝐃𝐈𝐒 yesterday. That overhead kick was something I like to see. The way he moved, the way he passed the ball, and he moved back to the box. Typical striker finish. That is one thing I like to see.
Is that this referee walk back straight into the pitch, and we'll give a verdict in the next few seconds to tell us if the penalty will be or not, and it's a penalty to the Malians. They will be hoping they convert these from the sport SAMIES against Zambia.
Well, definitely a game where on paper you would want the Malians to win, or you expect the Malians to win, but this is just the first call for them. 48th minute in this game, I'd want to see them play the penalty if they can convert. But
yesterday, Israeli coach 𝐵𝐕𝐄 before the start of this, for performance during the
World Cup qualifiers, and I remember it was also at the CHAN tournament also with them. But what we are with now is, okay, are we going to see the second penalty being scored at the African Cup of Nations? Because yesterday Salim missed Raimi rather. He missed yesterday. I saw Raimi at the Olympics. I saw him at the Olympics.
He plays football in Qatar
League. So let's see how this game definitely unfolds. 41st minute.
If the Malians will be the first to convert last night, Raimi could not convert for the host against Comoros.
But one thing I just want to go back to yesterday's game. Maybe many of you didn't expect Comoros to come up with a good fight. For me, I expected it. Why? Because this is the first game, and of course that was another scene at the African Cup of Nations.
So we're waiting for the first team that will score from the penalty spots. It was good one from the goalkeeper, the Zambian goalkeeper.
Yes, definitely went for his guts.
I think the referee is not satisfied with it. Maybe the goalkeeper
there's going to be a retake.
A little bit off his goal line. It's good. I think
there can be impediment from the players also.
I think this is good. Except there's some other things that the camera is not showing at the moment. So we're talking about Comoros, what we don't know about them.
I many of you didn't expect them to come up with a good fight yesterday, but myself, I in a way expected it, because that was the first game against the host nation in front of the
penalty will not be taken.
In front of the home fans. So they actually gave in a good fight, and kudos to their goalkeeper. It could have been 4-5 from Morocco, but Pando did so well yesterday. And also you can also thank the heroics of Yasin Bono as well, whom of course saved that quick succession
on a few
some strikes.
At the point in time, I thought he probably went home and have some tea and then came back to the game, because at the point I could not even notice that Bono was in goal for the host Morocco, and of course Roman Sars went out injured.
I
hope he will be back.
36 to play at the African Cup.
I hope he will be back stronger and better, if not in the group stage, maybe in the knockout stages of this year's African Cup of Nations. Let's switch attention from that and talk about some European football. We'll come to some African football once we get some update from the game between Mali and Zambia, and of course any update from the national team, as we look forward to 2 more games. South Africa will be playing later today, and of course there will be games for 9. South Africa play against Angola as a South African affair, and of course Egypt will play against Zimbabwe. So South Africans, they've got many games today. 3 of them have got 4. Zambia also from that region, so we're seeing 4 sides from Southern Africa playing in match day 2 of this year's African Cup of Nations. Let's switch attention. We'll have 15 minutes left on the show. More like we have hit the second half of the show. DOLAPO, what the weekend we had. Let's start with boxing, because SAMIES was telling us a couple of days ago that it's a fight that we must see, but I never saw it. Did you, DOLAPO?
Well, I watched the highlight. I didn't stay up at night to watch that fight.
It was not at night though. It was the early hours of Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
I had to prepare for some video. So it was the early hours of around 4 or 5, but I didn't see.
We had so many fights, but the main event was.
It was Saturday.
Saturday, 11 p.m.
to Saturday.
So I didn't stay up to watch that, but then good for Anthony Joshua. He was not fighting against a professional boxer, so I'm not going to put too much attention into that.
All that stage, DOLAPO.
No, I feel like for me it is just against Jake Paul. Paul is a YouTuber as far as I'm concerned. Yes, he wanted to perform. He said he was making mouths before the start of the game, and he was saying he would defeat him, do things that people do not expect. But then I just expected Joshua to have done that. It should get him knocked out. I was even expecting that to be like the fourth round, but Jake Paul was a bit smart. He asked for a bigger ring because he wanted to be dodging. He was just running around the pitch trying to frustrate Anthony Joshua. But at the end of the day, Joshua was able to do it, and he has now called up to Tyson Fury. He wants to fight Tyson Fury. I want to say that actually.
Samis, that stretched to round 6.
Yes.
Before the job was done. Was that too late, too early?
Well, I would say too late when you compare both athletes who were in the ring. I'll use that.
Yeah, for a YouTuber.
For a YouTuber, of course. At that point, is a sports person.
I get it, but you know, when you put it, you probably for the first time, I don't know, you will think, oh, maybe it's a boxer. But he's not a boxer, he's a YouTuber. But like Sammy said, at that point in time, he became one.
Yeah, a sport person. I think he knew what he wanted, which was
what? Get the dollars.
Get the money.
Stretch
like you said, the money was involved.
Maybe there are some people who put money on it to say
stretch it. Yes. Aside from stretching it, also test his own metal as well. And maybe the only thing he didn't have against Anthony Joshua was the punching power. That's why he didn't have a good go at Anthony Joshua. But in terms of that movement around the ring, I think he did that so well in the first, second, third, and fourth quarter. But you tell that Anthony Joshua, he just has to do what he had to do, which was definitely breaking the jaws of Jake Paul. And I think that also serves Jake Paul a lesson. You don't go around maybe challenging those. I know you want to be great. You want to be great to challenge those who are at the top. But there are some where definitely if you challenge them, it's a wish. And thank God he just didn't amount to that.
Let's talk about some football in terms of club games and league. Later today, starting the next 10 minutes, Castina United will play against Rivers United. And later tonight in the Premier League, one game in London, that will be the last for this weekend before we head to Christmas. Fulham will play against Nottingham Forest. And in Spain, Athletic Club will play against Espanyol. And then the Supercoppa final, the Supercoppa Italia, will be between Napoli and Bologna. So, DOLAPO, let's talk about a few of the things that happened over the weekend. A few of the talking points is about, let's start with Tottenham Hotspur Sports Stadium, where they lost to Liverpool by 2-1. Anything, updates about the injury suffered by Alexander Isak?
Well, I'm still awaiting what Liverpool would say. There have been talks of there will be MRI to test what exactly has gone wrong with Alexander Isak, but it just does not look good. With what I'm seeing, I'm expecting him to be out for probably 6 to 8 weeks with the way he get out of the field that day.
If it's 6 to 8, that's even nice. That's good. It's good news.
If it's true, I'm not confirming it, but I'm thinking of something around 6 to 8 weeks. It's not good for him because he's just getting back. He has not been the same Alexander Isak that we saw at Newcastle United last season since he joined Liverpool. He's not match fit, and that kind of show. I don't know what Mickey van der Ven was thinking. Yes, I know very well you want to try to remove the ball there, but what were you thinking to do?
Right.
Yeah, he has every right to do that, but I feel like he should have just
malicious.
Yeah, it was not, because he was just trying to save his club out, and that was a good pass from Fulham Way to get Alexander Isak there, and he also made a very good finish. But overall, for me, I feel like Cuti Romero is probably not a Tottenham Hotspur player. He should be in Spain with Atletico Madrid. With the way he reacts sometimes, I don't know. Yes, he's a good defender, no doubt, but the way he plays sometimes, the way he talks himself into trouble, the way he does things,
it looks like a decent.
It looks like a decent defender.
But that day, he wasn't himself.
He was
from the word goal. You saw the
He was the one that, to me, he was the one that caused both goals, and he also talked himself into a red card. He kept on, since the first half of the game, he kept on talking to the referee, and I kept on asking myself, what do you want? And yes, I understand that the captain ban gives you some authority to talk to the referee, but it gets to some level where you have to calm down, and I think the players at Liverpool should have just, Tottenham also should have just tried to calm him down, but then served him right, he got himself a red card.
Before you say, that's why you're the captain of the club side at that point, and there are moments when you can also just walk up to the referee or express your displeasure to the referee. At that point, when Curtis Romero got his first yellow card, that was when who scored? I think it was 𝐒𝐿 who scored.
No, he has gotten the first yellow card since the first half of the.
No, he got a yellow card for dissent.
For dissent, yeah.
For dissent, talking to the referee. It was 𝐒𝐿's goal. It was 𝐒𝐿's goal.
No. He didn't let 𝐒𝐿's goal. He ran to the referee, but that was.
No,
yes, that was the moment.
Isaac scored
first
before 𝐒𝐿 scored the second goal.
Okay.
It was Ian Konate that were dragging something on the floor before he got the second red card, the second yellow card. So the first one was in the 66 minutes.
No, the first one was
after 𝐒𝐿's goal.
That was after, yeah.
Immediately
You know, I remember 𝐒𝐿 leaped with him.
Yeah.
For the second goal.
And he wasn't
happy that there was a contact here. There was an impediment on my own lift at this point, and then the goal was counted, but he walked up to the referee expressing himself. Why would the referee also dish out a yellow card at that point in time? There are two things involved. He's the captain of the side, and also you can just wait, process it.
But he has been talking himself into this.
Hold on, I'm the captain of this. He's the captain of the side, and the goal has just been scored. Okay, let's calm down. Let's look at the situation together. Why dish out a yellow card? But for the second one, yes, he got a yellow card for the sportman, like that's a behavior over that's on Ibrahim Konate. But initially, that was a foul also on Romero.
He talked.
That was a foul on Romero.
I think it was a retaliation. And the referee saw it.
The referee
which was stupid of him. Because
that was one the same.
What's the point?
That's what I'm saying. So there are some officials, there are some calls in this game that you look at it, that the first mistake actually calls a foul.
We need to also move on to some other things, because if we have to stay with this Spurs in Liverpool, we'll not be able to dive into some other games. City won their game against West Ham, DOLAPO, 4 p.m. kickoff. That was here on this dial from the BBC, and then the pressure was on Arsenal, 9 on Saturday night, and job was done. But the pressure that comes with when your opponent play before you and they get to win their game, and was Victor Gyökeres who scored from the spot.
Well, I guess I'm enjoying these moments now, probably not as an Arsenal fan, but as a football fan. It's now getting very interesting in the Premier League. Both sides, both Arsenal and Manchester City, keep on pushing each other, because City have become a different team entirely.
In that question.
Well, maybe I saw Nottingham Forest last season do almost the same thing, and at the end of the day they flattered. So I'll put it Arsenal and Manchester City.
In terms of managers,
I would.
You also compare that of playing staff.
I'm sorry, but I would never trust Unai Emery when it comes to league titles.
He might not be winning the league, but how about him challenge for it?
Challenge for the title.
It might not be to win.
At the moment,
you know what they say when you aim for something.
At the moment, I'm sorry, I don't think so. My opinion now, I don't think Unai Emery is.
But you see the numbers between
10 games in
and the other team
just 3 points.
Fourth and fifth.
Yes, it's just 7 points.
It's more than that. So 7
just 7 points from
how many from Arsenal?
In the Premier League 7 points is not really
so
massive.
Like Sammy said, you don't want to
I don't want to put them. I just want to leave it Arsenal and Manchester City. But if you want to put it a 3-year series, you might put Aston Villa. But for me, I don't really think Aston Villa is in this mix.
So if Chelsea were to be in that position, or Manchester United,
where Villa
are, 3 points.
If
Arsenal
Chelsea
is leading with just 3 points.
If Chelsea is to be here, maybe I would say Chelsea. But it is Villa.
So I don't put them in that equation.
Hold on, for the Villa that you're talking about, that you're saying put
10 wins in a row.
Put them. The next few games will be key.
Chelsea and Arsenal.
And they play Arsenal.
Yes, maybe when I watch those 2 games and I see what they can do, I won't. Maybe against Chelsea they can do anything, because Chelsea is also not consistent. But when I watch them after those 2 games, wherever they are after those 2 games, I can say okay, maybe they are here. But at the moment, I don't really think they are in this mix. I feel like it is just all about Arsenal and Manchester City fighting for it, and Aston Villa are getting their job done as well. But probably just to get themselves into the top 4. They keep on winning their games. I don't see them as a title challenger.
Doesn't look like it, but you never can tell what will happen in the month of May. Let me quickly come to you, SAMIES, and it's about Bruno Fernandes and Manchester United. He will be out for a few days. How can they cope, or how do you think they cope?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned a few days, because I remember I was speaking with my friend yesterday about Bruno Fernandes' injury, and I was like, oh, this guy is a guy who really loves football. He can't be out for long. since his leg is not broken, he can't be out for long. You can see him in the next game. But yesterday, just talks about the number of games, and well, they are not playing European competition this season. But you look at since his arrival at Manchester United, the number of games he has played, and now he tries so hard to push the club side, carry the weight of Manchester United. They are really going to miss him if he's going to be out for more than the few days in which you mentioned. But then you look at also the issues surrounding Manchester United, players left for AFCON, the injuries they have, and also the manager also overworking some players. Like that defense line, I still wonder why a manager who is yet to get 5 wins on a row in all competitions still stick with one particular system that hasn't worked for you in over a year now. And for Aston Villa, I think they did something so well. It's just for the enjoyment of football. They told that the Manchester United fan who said he was going to cut off his hair if Manchester United wins 5 games on a row. But the good thing was, or the bad thing for Manchester United, the first time the challenge started was against Villa, and against Villa yesterday.
So let me wrap up with just 30 seconds left. DOLAPO, speak to me about Kylian Mbappé.
Baller, man. He's a baller. When you look at the numbers of goals he has scored, and you're equaling a record.
Is it a part of the game?
It's part of the game. You can't tell me penalties.
Morocco had one and lost.
Yeah, Mali had if they have scored instead, we won 1-0 up. So
had one, he scored,
and that was the 3 points for us now in the game against Latin. So for me, for me, I think he has been doing well since Real Madrid. If he keeps up like this, his legacy would be as Real Madrid.
So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the goals. About what
commendable.
When you score,
he said he had a conversation with Cristiano before he went onto the field of play, and he said he doesn't have any celebration in his head aside from the shoe celebration.
So you can go out and go do that style if you want to go out of the studio and do that. 2 minutes. We have to go now. The news coming up for 4. I've done this with SAMIES and DOLAPO. I am Peter Omo.